Good morning, everyone. It's GG Sober Sun. May 20th, I think. Yes. May 20th. Oh, there we go. Sun's been up for a while, but it's been hiding behind those clouds. So, May 20th. AA Thought for the Day from the 24 Hours a Day book. If we get up in a meeting and tell something about ourselves in order to help the other person, we feel a whole lot better. It's the old law of the more you give, the more you get. Witnessing and confessing are part of keeping sober. You never know when you may help somebody. Helping others is one of the best ways to stay sober yourself. And the satisfaction you get out of helping a fellow human being is one of the finest experiences you can have. Am I helping others? Yeah, that's one of the great paradoxes of AA is that I come to AA to save my butt and stop the madness, basically. And I come and I talk about myself, and at the same time I'm helping others. And one of my favorite lines from the promises is that we can see how our experience can benefit others. Now, I've run into times when I was trying to give advice based on my own experience, and circumstances were different for this person. Some things had changed in the Air Force rules. I think it had to do with my enlistment period, and I had extended to go to England on my first enlistment, 14 months, and they turned around like at the last minute and were like, "You're getting ready to enter your extension, you have to decide whether you're going to stay in or get out." And I was just like, what? I thought I had 14 months to decide that. And so years later, this woman that I knew was talking in my unit, that was talking about her extension and stuff like that. And I was like, "Oh, you better go and make sure," and blah, 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 blah. And, trying to tell her my own experience. Well, the rules had changed and you didn't have to make that decision before you entered the extension anymore. So it was just, so I felt pretty sheepish about it, and because I was so sure, and that's the thing, you get people in AA who seem so sure about what they're talking about. It's believable. Trust but verify is one of the things that I learned from an old Air Force leader. Trust but verify. Or was that Reagan? I can't remember now. But at any rate, yes, my experience can benefit others. Doesn't always, so it's best if I frame it as my experience rather than thumping the table and saying, "You better doggone well go," blah blah, fill in the blank. We've all heard it. So, meditation for the day. Without God, no real victory is ever won. All the military victories of great conquerors have passed into history. The world might be better off without military conquerors. The real victories are won in the spiritual realm. He that conquers himself is greater than he who conquers a city. That's from Scripture. The real victories are victories over sin and temptation, leading to a victorious and abundant life. Therefore, keep a brave and trusting heart. Face all your difficulties in the spirit of conquest. Remember that where God is, there is the true victory. And I think there's, again, a tension between my efforts in letting go and letting God. The big book says, and one day I'll memorize the page, that the proper use of my will is to seek God's will. And so when I'm faced with a temptation to do something I know is going to harm me or harm others, at the very least stress them out, then it's important for me to hand that over to God, my temptation. Oh, we got something going on. I can see some stingrays in the water. It looks like a school of fish or a school of stingrays. Look at that. Whoa. So, what I mean is the battle isn't mine. And the victory isn't either. Now, I used to think that it was my responsibility to clench my fists and grit my teeth and knuckle through it. And I've learned over the years, time and time again, that that's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to hand it over to God. And hand it over to God, and hand it over to God. Temptation to drink or gamble or compulsively overspend or get my sexual needs met, that kind of thing. Hand it over to God, hand it over to God, hand it over to God. Just keep handing it over. I know when I was in middle school, when I was trying to be a good Christian, I thought it was my responsibility to squeeze these thoughts out of my head, any kind of unsavory thoughts. And I would beg God to forgive me if a thought like that popped in my head. Rather than handing it over, I would, please forgive me, I'm so sorry. And that's not a very good relationship. Not a very helpful relationship. Prayer for the day. I pray that the forces of evil in my life will flee before God's presence. I pray that with God, I will win the real victory over myself. Oh, that's what it's all about. Look up. Aim up. Rise up. Love y'all.